Hello YouTube, what is up? I'm RoGamer bringing a tutorial to you on KSP. I'm going to show you how to get to orbit. All you need is a pod, parachute, and some tanks of fuel. Now you want to grab a decoupler, put it on the bottom of that, and just grab like a little tank. This will be your service module, I guess you can call it. And you know, we're just going to go with a simple build. We're not going to have any of like RCS or anything. And you can alt click and then just grab that, which will make it easier to build. And there we have the second stage, and grab it again, place it, grab one of these long tanks and a short tank. There, now you have a rocket. And then to help give it more boost at liftoff, we can just put some decouplers on the side to the two attached to boosters. Let's just put two. And we can just use these. Now when these burn out, and to help carry them away, just put some separatrons on. We could put them down there. And then we need to stage it. Make sure this engine fires first with these two side boosters. And then the side decouplers go there to activate with these. And that center, put that right there. And that decoupler can go there. And then this decoupler is fall through the atmosphere and then parachute. And you don't need air, you don't really need any nose cones on these, because there's no aerodynamics in the stock KSP. Well, there is, but they're not like realistic. It's just everything has its own drag number. So you can like make a giant square and it'll still fly. They're just for aesthetic purposes right now. Just to keep this simple and light, just none. And put some boosters stretch on the side. And that looks like it should make it to orbits, hopefully. And they can just toss on like some solar panels on the side. And then action groups. Click on the thing you want to set to an action group, click custom 1, so it binds it to key 1, and it will activate. And there you have it, a little rocket. I will meet you guys on launch pad and getting to orbit. Hello YouTube, we're back, or I'm back. This is only for a second for you guys. We're on the launch pad. Just put on SAS by pushing T and throttle up, and push space, and then it goes upwards. Amazing, I know. Now we're just gonna go for a simple, like 80 meter orbit. I don't know. We're not gonna go too high. The atmosphere ends at 70 meters, or 70,000 meters. My apologies. So it won't be that hard to get to orbit, and this thing has quite a bit of fuel. Oh, it's leaning. Shouldn't do that. At least not in this stage of the flight. We're going to go for a simple orbit, which is pushing D and just going this way. I'll have to start a little early because my craft seems to be leaning in that direction. Then we'll try to keep it stable. Why does it want to keep leaning this way? Okay, well, your craft shouldn't be leaning like this, if you're wondering. Don't know what's wrong. Maybe I've balanced something wrong. I don't know. Well, let's just keep going on with the mission. Once these boosters separate, it should even out. Yeah, they're about to burn out. And once they burn out, you should push space again if your staging is correct, and you should push them away a little bit. Now they burned out. See? Boom. Now I just need to gain control real quick. And we're about to leave the thick part of the atmosphere. We broke the speed of sound, so we're going above Mach 1. As you can see, the fuel is running low. And then you just push space again, and this will push this away, and then this engine will activate. Yada yada. And here's your apoapsis, which is the highest point in your orbit. But in real life, it's called the apogee. And the periapsis, or PE, or perigee, is the lowest point in your orbit. And we can circularize it with the little engine that's on right under the pod right there. And if you launch a lot of crafts and leave like bearings or spent stages in orbit, you might want to be careful when launching because you might run into something. It's unlikely, but possibilities are endless. And that burned out. Separate that and fly on. Sorry for the little pause. Had some interruptions. But anyways, our orbit should be high enough. Yeah, it should bring it up to 82. So the little atmospheric drag we have now while we're still flying through won't drop us below. And it's as simple as that. And you can just warp forwards. Now, an easy way to get to orbit is just to make a node like that. And just do that, and this will calculate everything for you. Or you could just do it another way, which is just burn prograde. You see that. Let me remove that real quick. Why that doesn't want to work. You can just point prograde once you get up to your apoapsis. That just covers a little. Deploy your solar panels and start burning. You want to keep this ahead of you, so if it starts falling backwards, just point to the blue a little bit and it should pop back up. As you can see, it's spreading because we're gaining horizontal velocity more than vertical. And our solar panels deploy and gather sunlight. And as you can see, I'm trying to keep my craft this right with my craft. And that stage burned out, and then just separate, and that engine will activate, pushing us along even farther. And there's our periapsis, ready to go to the atmosphere, and cut off. Oh, a little bit more. There we go. Usually when it's like to the sides, it's pretty much circular, as you can see, 84, 81. It's pretty decent. And there you go, now you're in orbit. And just sit here. Take screenshots. Tell your friends. And you can just walk time and see the atmosphere and the ground below you. And then when you're ready to land, you just point retrograde, which is the other marker, which is right here. And you can just burn that way until your periapsis is either like in the once a decent amount in the atmosphere, or you could just burn it so you're gonna crash into the ground. Well, let's try to land at the KSC, which is sort of a challenge to some. What is the easiest is just go right here near the desert and burn retrograde. Now, if you're landing like an SSTO, I don't really recommend this because you're going to be falling like a brick. And keep burning, bring it back a little bit more, and that should be good. If you're landing in SSTO, don't want to do this. It's like a brick. Never get to warp time. Because you have to account for the rotation of Kerbal and the speed that you will be going. And the atmospheric drag. Looks like it didn't go quite far enough. There, now you can toss that. You know, it's still has fuel. Jettison, point retrograde. And if you push caps lock, it will make it fine-tune controls. So you can, like, get it where you want it to be. And once you usually get around here, you start getting re-entry effects, which is like burning and stuff. As you can see, you want to keep SAS on so you don't spin out of control. And sometimes if your weight is right, you could just turn off SAS altogether, and it will point you retrograde. And as you see, our craft isn't really that big and heavy, so we're going to lose speed while we're still up in the atmosphere. And any second I should start seeing flames. It's not going to be a lot because we're not going that fast, but there should be some. Yeah, see? Don't worry, if you don't have deadly re-entry installed, you won't explode. Until you hit the ground, then you explode. Oh, we didn't even come close to the KSC. It's right there in that little patch on this thing that looks like Africa. Well, we tried our best, but who cares? We're bringing Jebediah back from orbit from a successful mission. And we might get some mock specs, which are just some like white, not clouds exactly, but like white particles around the spacecraft. Like whenever you see jets going supersonic, those white cones around them, that's pretty much all it is. And then you can just deploy a parachute to help slow your descent. If you heard that noise, it sounded odd. That was probably the stage that was sitting right under this crashing into the water. Water in this game is bad, bad, bad. Don't want to land in it if you don't want to crash. If you're landing a plane, try to land on land. This water is like just a concrete rock with water characteristics. And splashdown. And we made it. Jebediah survived. We did a mission to orbit, and we're back. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe to become a Robonaut today.